Many thanks to the developers for the review copy. As always, it helps Glen and I a ton. Love us or hate us, let us know down in the comments. If it's love, which for many of you thankfully it seems to have been, smash that sub button and ring that bell. Well, this one was a surprise to me. Immortal Redneck instantly brought back fond memories of a hugely understated series, Serious Sam. Now granted, back then my meaty 500MHz Pentium 3 struggled to render the game at 640 by 480. Now I have a shiny handheld Nintendo thingamajig that can smash out 720p games. What a time it is to be alive. But is this one going to live on forever, or should it climb back into its sarcophagus and die? Let's find out. The story goes that, as any good redneck would know, you have a high-powered truck and you drive it pretty quickly. Now unfortunately, you crash. Now whether or not you were intoxicated at the time remains a mystery. My guess would be you probably were. Regardless, your time in the mortal plane has run out. Get your shuffling boots on, because you will rise again as a shotgun-toting undead mummy. Story is classic. I don't mean that in the Treasure Island sense of the word. I mean it more in the damn I'm good sense. Let's not beat around the bush though. Story is about as useful as Anne Frank's drum kit, adding little or nothing to the overall experience, and scores 10 out of 20. If you're a vegetarian, you may well wish to stay well away from this one because it is meaty. Any long-time gamer can remember when they bought a brand new shooter only to fire the first shot and it sounded like they just farted in the desert. Not so here. Gun sounds are chunky and synced perfectly. When you pull that trigger, the sound is going to do your actions justice. HD rumble is okay, nothing like what we've seen in some games. I think a shooter could do great things with HD rumble, perhaps nuancing the rumble for reloading and a click when that clip jams home. We will have to wait for the bigger budget titles, maybe like Call of Duty, for that one. Music is so-so with a mixture of upbeat and slow sounds, but all sounds suitable. This is more elevator music that you would notice if it wasn't there, but you don't crack out your phone and identify that song with Shazam. No. For me, music is capable, but not unique and special. There are some voice acting moments here where your character will say one-liners very similar to classic games such as Duke Nukem. These can seem a little bit forced, and often the swearing just feels a bit unusual and out of place. Overall, I give sound and music 14 out of 20. I'm going to start with this. I haven't played a roguelike first-person shooter game, and it is a great idea. It is a massive shame this game doesn't have co-op, as this would have elevated it hugely. As it is, this is a single player only experience, where at the start of each run you'll have one aim: reach the apex of a pyramid and kill the big bad. Did I get that far? Hell no. I died horribly more times than I can count, but guess what? This is a great game. Let me tell you why. First things first, the guns. They themselves are the bread and butter of any good shooter. They need to be responsive and feel right. These do just that. The shotgun feels so good. Like that first time you found it in Doom and blasted the pixelated face off a demon. Really nice moments. You start with a pistol, which looks super janky, and a stick of TNT, which can be cooked before throwing. Essentially, you move through each floor of the pyramid, clearing rooms. A bar at the top of the screen shows you how many enemies are left to kill. Once killed, the doors open and you can choose your next path. The whole level is randomly positioned, but the rooms themselves are prefabbed. This turns out to be a really good thing, as full random generation just doesn't work very well in a shooter. You need that loving hand of the developer to create environments that allow for fast and fluid play. These do that and add a nice bit of verticality. I'm not a fan of jumping in first-person shooters, as we found out with Suicide Guy, but at least here you have a ledge grab to avoid some accidental death jumps. It still happens though. There hasn't yet been the perfect system to rectify this in a shooter. The game has the most literal skill tree I've ever seen. It works as expected and is essential if you plan on reaching the apex, which, as I said, I haven't quite reached yet. I'm just biding my time to let you guys get there. You'll need to upgrade your character a little before expecting to even get close. Look out for those item scrolls and be playing the game with the motion controls. This is by far the preferred control method. Big guns, check. Randomized levels, still handmade areas, check. Crazy goat zombies, yep. A flippin' meaty set of guns that look like they were drawn by my 4-year-old daughter, but kick like the angriest of mules, check. I give gameplay 18 out of 20. It's an incredible amount of fun and very old school indeed. Love 'em or hate 'em, roguelikes are usually great value. A gaming hero might just pick this game up and blast their way through it, and it's gone faster than my paycheck when it reaches my wife's hands. But, and here is the big but, there is so much to come back for. Every run sees you finding new power-ups, scrolls or weapons. You can come across an enemy you didn't see before, or a room you've never entered. You might get just the right combination of power-ups to make you borderline unstoppable, only to enter the room I like to call the Cupboard of Frogs. A 3-foot square space raining giant toads down onto you. Hell. Pure hell. But damn fun if you manage to overcome them. Overall, for me, value gets 17 out of 20. Which brings me on to the final verdict. Whether you want to pick up and play or spend a serious session to reach the apex, this one will have plenty of bang for your buck. You will need to gel with the core experience as I did, so if you like old school first person shooters, you'll be right at home here. I would definitely pick it up for a new twist on roguelikes. However, if you do want multiplayer or feel that you need it in your shooters, then you're out of luck and you might want to stay away from this one. Immortal Redneck gets a SwitchUp score of 73%. Let me know your thoughts on the game down in the comments. Are you planning on picking this one up? And I will see you guys all in the next one. Keep it switch up. See ya.